Thank you for joining me virtually on my YouTube channel. This is Esther at Stampin Star Creations, here to show you a luxury card I made for a friend's special birthday. I'm using this True Love Designer Series paper, which is available from the January to June mini catalogue 2021. And I'll be colouring in these images with our alcohol markers, which are called Stampin Blends, and I'm using the Highland Heather colour. These pens have got two tips on them. This is the felt tip end, and then there is a brush end too. And using the darker colour first, just to work from the centre of the flower outwards to lay down some shading. Then coming in with the lighter colour and the brush tip and going in circular motions to blend the colours together. You can of course use any colour that you like, and this is a great way to colour in the flowers. And you could use watercolours or sponging or spritzing, lots of different ideas. For the leaves, I'm using Just Jade and using the darker colour around the centre of the leaf and along the stems, and then under the flowers where there would be a darker shadow. Then finishing up with the lighter accompanying colour in Just Jade. Going to snip this out and fussy cut those so they're ready for my card. And then I'm going to introduce a butterfly gala and using this double stamp here with the black memento ink. So I've placed that down so it's easier to feed through my punch. And I'm going to colour this in with the same colour, the Highland Heather, using the darker colour in the centre of the body and then using the lighter for the outside. And I'm going to leave the outside dots white to create a more realistic butterfly look. And the punch, if you turn it over, you can see exactly where you're punching out, and they just pop out and match perfectly. So I've gone ahead and cut out some purple posy. I dropped my ink. I dropped my ink on the card. I was a bit devastated. I was like, what am I going to do? I decided I'm going to try and cover up my boo-boo and see how it goes, rather than have this card. It wouldn't go to waste, but I just wondered if I could maybe cover it up. So using this leaf from the Forever Fern stamp set, I'm going to create a border using the black ink. So each time I'm stamping, I'm moving my stamp in a different direction because I want it to be a more free-flowing, organic look. And just catching that corner there with the top of the stamp set. There you go, I've created the border, and once I've laid down the flowers, I realise actually I can cover up quite a lot of that boo-boo with the flowers, so I don't need to worry too much. Bringing a non-Stampin' Up stamp set. This is from Paper Tray Ink in America, and they've designed these really lovely Christian sets, and this one has got a big word praise in it, and it's got lots of little words to go with it too. So I'm actually stamping in Purple Posy, which isn't available, but I managed to get it when it very first came out. They had a lot of issues with this ink and weren't able to release the colour, unfortunately. So I'm stamping in Purple Posy, and then I decided that it needed to be bolder, so I'm going to come back in the black memento and offset it slightly so I've got a shadow effect. Now I am being brave and just doing this freehand, but if you have something like a Stamparatus or a stamp positioning tool, then you might find it easier to use that instead. So you just want to slightly move the paper after you've done the first initial stamp. And just taking the other stamp off so I can actually see what I'm doing a bit more clearly. Thankfully this comes out right, and there is a shadow just slightly off to the left. It just gives a nice depth for the wording. I wanted to add some more detail in the background, so bringing back my Purple Posy ink and the spots which come in the Forever Fern stamp set, and just creating some movement with those spots on the back to give a bit more detail in the background. I've used these dies from the matching die set that comes with the Forever Fern stamps, and I've wanted to add some more greenery to my work. So I'm using the same colour, the Just Jade, in the cardstock to cut out those sprigs. Next I wanted to add some embossing, so rubbing it down my embossing buddy, then using the Versamark ink and just tilting it in the light to see where I'm stamping. And I'm going to add the butterflies fairly randomly around the border of the card. Adding some silver embossing powder and tapping off the excess, and then you use your heat tool to heat the powder up, and this melts the powder. I like to heat underneath my project first because this just helps with the warping. The heat tends to warp your paper, but if you heat the other side it helps to balance it out. It's like magic. It goes nice and shiny and you can see those silver embossed butterflies. I felt that the border and the edging needed something, so I'm just rubbing my Versamark ink along the edge very carefully, and this will leave a trail of ink around the edge. Again, going in with the silver embossing, and it leaves me with a nice silver border around my card. I've used quite a few dimensionals because I coloured this in on paper as opposed to card, so I wanted to make sure that was stable, and I'm just adding in those sprigs for my foliage, trying to balance out the greenery around the flowers. Popping on a bit of Tombow liquid glue and just sticking those edges in underneath the flower. Touch of Wink of Stella, this is a fine glitter pen, and this leaves a lovely shimmer and shine to your project. Then using these matching embellishments, these are actually retired, but again I just wanted to use them up with my project because they match the perfect colour, and as this was a special card I went to town with the embellishments and added some of those basic gems too. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's card. Please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel. This is me just showing you that I've created an insert to go in the card to help finish it off. Thank you again, take care and have a good day. God bless.